Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Triple Threat Comics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ian Miller. It's actually been a while since I last spoke to you guys. How are you? And I know I'm a little late to the game, but Happy New Year. You're probably wondering why I actually haven't posted any new episodes. Well, I've been busy, as you can see. Many of you are probably wondering what's happening with issue 3 of Codename Hunter and Batman Enigma. I am working on them. I'll give you a little update why Enigma is delayed. Well, yeah, it's because I'm working on the artwork as we speak. But the artwork is almost finished, and I'll be able to announce the release date very soon. As for Codename Hunter, there's a couple of reasons why that's delayed again. One, I was not happy with some of the colors that I did on a couple of the pages, so I'm fixing that. And they're coming out great, so I'm going to make an announcement on that soon. Another reason why is that this issue of Codename Hunter is actually going to be a tribute issue. One of my friends from my school visual art days, Kay, had unfortunately passed away this past December. After, I think it was their 5-year battle with cancer. So it's taken me a minute, to get my bearings, if you will, and get back in the game, so to speak. I did ask a lot of our classmates to, work on tributes, say a few words about our friend. And they were gracious enough to do so. So I'm going to categorize them in the book, and I'm going to add, obviously, my own thoughts about Kay. So that's something to look forward to, and I think Kay will be very pleased with what I've done with the issue and what everyone said about them. So yeah. So that's what's happening in both of those projects. I do have other projects, which I can't really talk about. Shh. So yeah. Tonight's episode is going to be different, in which we're actually going to do something that I don't normally do. As many of you probably know this, I actually co-host another YouTube channel with my friend Andrew Smith, and it's entitled Media Talk with Miller and Smith. And back in late November or December, we actually did a tribute episode to late Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy. As many of you know, Kevin had tragically passed away this past November at the age of 66. He was battling cancer. So in the tribute episode that we did, we talked about our favorite moments from the animated series, the animated movies, the Arkham games, and of course Kevin's live-action performance as Bruce Wayne in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So we're talking about our favorite moments of his portrayal as Batman, and at the end we did a very nice tribute, which I was very pleased with, and the response to that episode was very great. And I know I promised this channel that I was going to do a tribute to Kevin on here, so this is the tribute. Before we get to the actual episode itself, just two announcements. I'm going to take on guests again, and the first guest is on February 18th, and that is my old friend Enrique Lopez, who's also the inker of Triple Threat Comics. He's going to be talking to us about his upcoming projects, and also we're going to show off our cover for Batman Enigma issue 3 that he and I did together. So that's going to be fun to finally release that, because he did a great job on that. So that's that to look forward to. Then on February 25th, we actually have Daniel Garcia, and he's going to be talking about his comic projects and, what he hopes for down the line. So that's going to be exciting to look forward to that too. So, without further ado, here is the Kevin Conroy tribute. And don't forget, February 18th is Enrique Lopez. February 25th is Daniel Garcia. Bye, folks. Enjoy the show. I can get back to work. Hey, everyone. This is Ian Miller.
What's going on, guys? It's Andrew.
And welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Okay, tonight's topic is actually going to be a tribute episode, and we're going to talk about a man who has been pretty much part of our childhood. He has voiced a certain DC character that we've loved for many, many years. Of course, I am talking about the late but great Kevin Conroy, who has portrayed Batman in various anime productions, as well as some very popular video games. So, let's get into our topic. As many of you know, Kevin has passed away sadly at the age of 66. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, battling cancer, which he had been doing the last couple of years. And we were quite in shock when we actually read the news.
Yeah, we were. I knew he was battling cancer, but I didn't think it was going to be that. It was that bad. That it was just so bad that it would take his life, especially at 66 at such a young age.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually not unlike my own father, who's 65. Good health, I will say, very good health. Um,
Thank God.
yeah, very thank God. But still, it's very shocking to hear, people that you grew up admiring dying at a certain age like that. So that was quite shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I told you this earlier. I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago, when you were just saying about people admiring and stuff like that, or um, I guess for an actor, I would say, who I inspired or not inspired, but who I looked up to and thought was a really great actor and a great person for what he's done before he died, was Paul Walker, which is what I told you,
Yeah,
um, who is, as most of you know, was part of the Fast and Furious franchise. Um, and not even what he did in the movies, but he had his foundation that he did, which was pretty, you know, showed you what kind of person he was. I mean, he liked fast cars, obviously, but you know, with his donation, that he did, foundation, sorry, um, just giving back and helping out, was the kind of person that he was, and he just lost his life way too soon. I think it was 7 years ago.
yeah,
That was in 2013. So
yeah,
um, 9 years ago, actually. So while I'm sure you looked up to Kevin Conroy after watching him all these years. But yeah, it was just like you just said, all these actors and all these people you looked up to dying way too soon. I mean, it's just sad.
yeah. And it's what's ironic is that Kevin's passing actually is very eerily, matches up with Chadwick Boseman's passing. It was actually right around that same like day, maybe a day before.
Right.
So it was very eerie that they were at least a year apart. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
just crazy. Um, but yeah, for most Batman fans, Kevin was the voice of Batman. I
Hmm.
mean, this is the guy that you actually heard when you read a Batman comic. You know, It's not
Yeah,
like hearing Mark Hamill's Joker or any of the cast members from that great animated
exactly.
series.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, I've said this many times before on other episodes that, the Tim Burton films was my introduction to Batman, but it was also the animated series that really made me a Batman fan. And a great part of that was Kevin Conroy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, um what is it? We met him at Comic-Con a lot of years ago. Um
I think this was back in 2012, I want to say.
Something like that around there.
I
Um
think. I can't be certain.
yeah, I have to look up the exact. I think I have a autographed photo of him. I don't remember where that is. Anyway.
No, wait. It was 2015. I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. Because Arkham Knight had just was just announced. It was coming
That's
out
right.
in December. I remember
Yes,
this.
that's right. And
Yeah,
I think I remember. Yeah, God.
yeah, and this was a big promotion for that.
Right. Yeah, and I think I remember because we were getting his autograph. I think I remember telling him that I was excited for his new game, Arkham Knight coming out, and looking forward to uh, the next story.
Yeah.
um, but I think you're right. And I just lost my place. I'm sorry. Yeah, we met him at Comic Con a few years ago, and he just seemed like a nice, like a all around genuine guy. Um, Nice guy. Loved to be around the fans.
Oh,
It's just
loved his fans.
yeah. Well, he loved his fans a lot, and it was just an honor to meet him when I did.
Yeah, same here. I remember we were on a very long line. Kevin actually got up on the table, on his signing table, took a
I
picture of the crowd, and
remember that.
actually said the iconic line.
I remember
You all know it.
that. Yeah, yeah. All you Batman fans out there, you all know what he says. You know his famous line that he always says.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Um, but that was a cool moment. That was a fun moment. Um, yeah, it was just it was just a fun time when we met him.
Yeah, and it was great, because he actually signed his signature, Kevin Conroy, Batman. I was
Yeah,
like, God, this is so cool, so cool.
you
Yeah,
know, yeah, yeah. And there was I'm sure everyone saw it, but there was a a post out there on Instagram that from Mark Hamill, who plays the Joker on the Batman animated series with Conroy. Um, I read his post. It was just so short and sweet. Just pretty much what he said was he was stunned by the loss of, well, quote for quote, stunned by the loss of this brilliant actor. Words can't express my admiration and respect for the man. I loved him like a brother.
yeah.
So after working so many years with him on the animated series, he kind of thought of them like his as brothers.
It's always nice to hear stories like that, especially two people who worked together for so many years
Hmm.
on various projects, but playing these iconic characters. So it's very touching to hear stuff like that. And what's interesting is the not just the love from the fans of Kevin, but also many of his coworkers, because we've had Tara Strong, who has voiced Batgirl in the animated series and Harley Quinn for the Arkham games. She was expressing her loss for the passing of her friend. So
Hmm.
you see a lot of these touching, tributes, even from the animated series creators, especially from Burnett, who is one of the staff writers. He wrote a very touching tribute. Yeah, very touching. and here's something I didn't actually know, but which is great about Kevin was um, during 9/11, because Kevin actually lived in New York during 9/11, especially with firefighters. He would actually go down and cheer up the firefighters
Mm,
and say some of the iconic lines, just to entertain them, just to make sure that they were okay.
yeah.
It just goes to show how generous his heart was.
That's just like I said, that's just the kind of guy, that he was. I mean, obviously, well, I only met him the one time, but just from everything that you said and what he's done, I mean, it just seemed like he was just an all around genuine guy and just cared about people. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. What's interesting was he actually published a story recently in DC Comics. It was for their DC Pride
right.
issue,
Yeah.
because Kevin was gay. He was gay. He was openly
Right. Yeah.
gay,
Yep.
and yeah, I just read his story again. Very touching, very inspiring, and you know, pretty much producers before he even got Batman had said that he would never be hired, obviously because of his sexual orientation, but
Mhm.
prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Again, inspiring. So I thought it was very bold of him to, to tell us this story because it's very personal for him. Also goes to show you, doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter, who you are.
No,
You want to get where you want to get, you're gonna get there.
exactly. I mean, I don't think he really worried about all the people like judging him for coming out as gay and
No,
stuff like
no,
that. I mean, he didn't really worry about that stuff. I mean, he just wrote the book, and then it was. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't read it obviously, but you did. But
yeah, yeah,
I should probably read it. But
yeah, yeah. It's a touching story, but you know what? The fans loved him. We all accepted him. We didn't care,
no,
because he's a great guy.
yeah,
He really was.
yeah. I mean, I know through the years. I mean, I know we didn't really get him as a live action Batman, but he did he did come out once in the Batwoman episode, or the crossover, I should say.
Yeah,
Um,
Crisis on
Crisis
Infinite
on.
Earths.
Yeah, he was the mean Batman. The you know what was the name of that Batman again? It was
Well, it was supposed to be the Kingdom Come Batman
yeah, that
because,
one, Kingdom Come Batman.
yeah, because in that universe he actually does have a bionic, body brace
Right,
to get him walking because so many years of punishment, right? So many years.
exactly.
But it was such a great thrill just to see him as a live action Bruce Wayne. But
Yeah.
but please tell me that you didn't close your eyes and just hear the voice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, even when you looked at him in the live action movie,
television
the
series.
crossover, yes, the crossover. It was like it's him, it's Batman.
Yeah,
But it's really not.
yeah,
Oh, it's a darker Batman than what we what we're used to in the animated series.
yeah. What was so interesting about that episode, especially the confrontation that he has with Supergirl, he
Yeah,
starts quoting the line from Batman versus Superman. My parents taught me a different lesson. I
yeah,
was like, oh God, this is just chills, man. This is just chills. And it was still nice to see it.
yeah. No, absolutely. And then you want to bring up the Arkham games that he
Oh
did.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Let's talk about that.
was you know the best in the franchise, the best Batman franchise.
Yeah,
Um, Personally, my favorite was Arkham Knight, which was the very last one that he did. Um, but all the Arkham games are which is really well done. Really, the stories were great. There wasn't really one bad thing about the franchise, really.
No, what was great about the first two installments was they were actually written by one of the writers from Batman the Animated Series. So if you think about it, the first two games could be counted as animated series canon. Could be,
Could be,
but definitely not.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I remember my excitement just hearing about the announcement of the game, and also just by the look of it, the graphics, and the fact that Kevin and Mark was actually going to be voicing it. I was like, yeah, but this rocks. Bring it on.
Mhm.
Then I find out Paul Dini, was part of the animated series writing staff, wrote
Right.
the games, the first two games. I was like, yeah, let's go, let's go. Yeah, Arkham Knight was a definite game changer, especially with these type of video games, these
Mhm.
superhero games.
Right.
Really, just it's like they reinvented the wheel. It just from the design, the fighting techniques, the detective mode, that was just fantastic. But again, the fact that you had Kevin and Mark in it helped sell the game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't have any other voice play Batman or the Joker for that matter. I mean, without it, I mean, the game wouldn't be really be the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that was a mega hit, and I played that countless times. I'm probably gonna replay it again maybe during the end of this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be exciting. I'm probably gonna play all three of them, but let's just get to Arkham City for a second here.
Right.
Arkham City was definitely bigger, than Arkham Asylum because you got a bigger environment. You're part of Gotham that's been cut off.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you have a bigger. I want to say you have a bigger area, I guess, of what you're covering. You're covering well. First in Arkham Asylum, you were just going around the whole asylum, just um trying to cast a Joker, trying to put him back, whatever it is.
Yeah.
While as Arkham City, you just had a full city to go through. I mean,
Mm.
they made it better than the last one.
Yeah, the stakes definitely felt higher,
Yep.
and you can also hear it in Kevin's performance. You can really hear that Batman's going through hell. That's another thing about that was great about Kevin's performances in all of the things in Batman because you could just hear the different layers that he had for Batman or Bruce Wayne. What pain he was going through, what his anger was. You know,
Mhm.
that's just good acting. That's just good acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember after the end of Arkham City, just eagerly waiting for the next installment because I was like, yeah, I know it's coming. And then the announcement didn't come until like, I'd say maybe 2013.
Hmm.
And then when it did, I was like, okay, finally. But wait, I wait until the 2015 for the Arkham Knight to come out because they were just inventing new technology and getting us to the opportunity to drive the Batmobile.
That
And
was
that
my
was
favorite part.
exciting.
Yeah, I mean that was one of my favorite parts of the whole game. Just actually driving the Batmobile. Um, but yeah, I mean they made Arkham Knight bigger and better than the sequels, but you're actually this time you're actually in Gotham City, so like we're covering a whole Gotham City, and just pretty much how and you heard it in Kevin's voice, um like how he was dealing with everything in Arkham Knight, as Batman,
Yeah.
just going through all the how to stop Scarecrow and how to also trying to figure out who Arkham Knight is. So did a great
Yeah,
job with that as well.
yeah, especially also at the end of the game, where he's tying up loose ends, especially with the Nightfall Protocol, because the secret's out now,
Hmm.
and he has to deal with that. But there's one section where he's with Selena Kyle, Catwoman, where you could just hear his regret, you know, where they didn't, couldn't be together.
Yeah,
And you just feel the pain there again in Kevin's performance.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing when you found out that the Arkham Knight was Jason. You
Yeah,
know, you could hear it in his voice where he faced off against Jason for the last time. Um, you heard in his voice how he thought that Jason was dead. Obviously, as most of you know, Jason was killed by the Joker.
yeah,
Um, but to see him actually coming back, which actually surprised me, by the way. I didn't know that they were actually going to bring Jason back as the Arkham Knight.
yeah.
Uh,
That was a bit of a shock because I didn't think Jason was going to be part of the continuity. If I'm being
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I mean, I thought Tim was going to be in. I thought Tim was going to be in there. But I didn't think like they would actually bring Jason back and actually become the Arkham Knight and the villain trying to kill Bruce. But
Yeah,
once he revealed himself, you could just hear it in Kevin's voice. Obviously he had a script to go through, but you could just hear the voice so shocked that finding out Jason was the Arkham Knight and finding out that he was alive all these years.
yeah. Again, good acting.
Exactly.
I think one of his best performances as Batman, and aside from the games, are
Hmm.
I'm going to give two examples that I think
Okay.
are prime.
Okay.
One is from the animated series. It's an episode called Perchance to Dream, where he actually wakes up in a dream reality and he's been put there by Mad Hatter. And he's facing off a different version of Batman, a dream version. And you could just tell, how different he made the voices are. And you could
Right.
just feel his anger,
Right.
as Mad Hatter's just manipulate him and just put him in this, dream situation. To, and the point was Mad Hatter was trying to give Batman a life that he wanted, any
Hmm.
life that he wanted, just to keep him out of Mad Hatter's life. And his parent, and in the dream world, his parents were alive. He had Selena Kyle as a girlfriend, and then the dream wakes up. You're like, it was a lie. I wanted that reality so much, and
Yeah.
you hear that regret.
Yeah.
And another performance is, of course, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, which many people have said this is the best Batman's movie ever. I think I can agree with that in an animation standpoint. It's the best Batman anime movie ever made.
Right.
Anyway, in the story, it's all about dealing with one's past, and Bruce has been dealing with a past romance. Woman comes back from his past.
Hmm.
This is the woman that he could have had had he not been Batman. This is the woman who could have stopped him from being Batman.
Right.
And something changed, And once again, you're hearing all the pain, all the anguish that you expect from Bruce Wayne and Batman. And once again, he nails it every single time.
Every single time.
Yeah, just fantastic. But like I said, when you read the comics, you hear this voice. I've been doing that since '93.
Yeah.
when I started looking at Batman comics.
But yeah, I mean, please, if any of you want to put in what your favorite comic was, or your favorite, well, not comic, but your favorite episode of him in the animated series, your the favorite game that you liked of him, just anything, you could just put it in the comments, and we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, because we all know that if you're watching this and you're fans of, the animated series, we all know that you're also mourning as well.
hmm
Because, like I said, he was part of our childhood, so we're also in mourning.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago, excuse me. But something like that will just stick with you for a very long time. Um, I mean, I know some people will not be as in
Yeah,
mourning as they were when he first died.
yeah,
Um, but it's still something like that, an actor like that, um, will stick with you for a while.
yeah. I just remember, when I read it, when you actually told me that it happened, is you tried to call me, and then I just read the article. Was like, I had to sit down. I had to sit down.
Yeah, because you didn't really believe it at first.
No,
You
but I thought it was
thought it
one of
could
those
be one of
fake
those.
out articles, like they usually print.
Yeah, you
But
thought it could have been one of those death hoaxes or something, and then yeah,
no, then it was genuine. I was like, wow. And like I said, it was very close also to when Chadwick Boseman had passed away again a year earlier. So it was like double whammy.
yeah. I mean that one kind of hit me a little bit too, because we know he'll never play Black Panther again. So it was kind of shocking to me that also to find out that he never told anybody that he was
Yeah,
really sick. So that kind of that kind of got that kind of shocked me as well, that nobody really knew that he was sick, and he just kept it to himself. And he I'm pretty sure he told his family, but that's really it.
yeah,
Marvel people knew, and
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. But with Kevin, it's still hurt like a. Was actually interesting talking about Mask of the Phantasm. I was actually watching it with my family
yeah,
not too recently, and Chris, you know Chris,
yep,
uh, he had it that we both watched it when we were kids. Loved the series, loved the movie,
right,
and says to me as we were watching it, I forgot how dark this movie actually is.
yeah.
Yeah, but completely shocked. We both were, when I told. But yeah, it was a complete shock. Yeah. So again, share with us your favorite moments of Kevin as Batman, whether it's the animated series, the video games, whatever.
If you could have, I know there's a whole lot, but if you could just pick one moment of him as Batman, what would it be? Like I said, I know it's a lot. I mean, there's a lot, like, from the animated series and all those movies and stuff. I mean, I don't think you could really just pick one, but
There's only one moment that's always going to be number one for me. I know it's number one for all of you. Saying the iconic line, I
exactly.
am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Exactly.
Again, he did it way better than I did. So don't hold against me, folks.
Well, you gotta have that mean, Batman voice.
Well, again, there was only one Kevin Conroy.
No, there is. I mean,
Yeah,
no one can replace him. I mean,
no.
no.
Well, Kevin,
But
um, rest in peace. You will never be forgotten.
nope, not not even a little bit.
No, and I'm pretty sure before the weekend is over, I will have finished all the Batman Arkham games.
Same with me. Same with me. And then I'll probably move on to Injustice. So
Yeah, that was another great game, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. It was.
Eh, it won't be the same. It won't be the same.
No, I mean you'll have all those if they decide to do more Batman games. I mean it'll just never be the same. I mean depending on who they get for another game. I mean it just you just won't hear it. You know,
No,
it just won't be the same without them.
no. But at least we still have him in the games that we do have in the animated series, all the
Yeah,
movies. And we also have that moment where we actually met him. That's always gonna be with us.
I'm sure I have that autograph copy somewhere.
Oh, I still have mine. I pull it out every once in a while.
If not, I have the photo I had that I took with him. So
Yeah, I think we'll actually post that, while while we put on the episode. I think we'll do that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, towards the end. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, Kevin, thank you very much for the memories.
yeah, and I don't know, just
Yeah,
just doesn't seem real. That's all.
no, it doesn't. I will say before we do go, I will say we did see Black Panther 2. We did see it.
Yes, we did.
Um, again, it was definitely another whammy because for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it didn't seem real without Chadwick, but they honored him in such a way. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, we won't spoil anything, but they just honored him in just a really special way. Um, and as you watch the movie and just look out for the beginning and the end part
Yeah,
because it's just really special in how they honor him.
yeah. The middle part, quite mind bending. A lot of action scenes, great scenes.
Yeah,
The villain, very, very good. I like it when the villains actually do have, a plausible reason, you know,
right.
because that makes them more interesting. And it definitely worked. And of course, the new Black Panther worked out beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, it was just all great. The villain at the villain at the beginning, I thought was a little iffy, but then as he started getting towards the end of the movie, he started getting more and more terrifying and what a villain should be. So that was pretty good. They did a good job on that.
Yeah, complete opposite from Black Adam. But that's
Oh
another,
yeah,
but that's another
absolutely.
story. That's another story.
It's another story for another episode. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, but go see it. Black Panther was really good. I think it made about 330 million in its first weekend. So
oh,
that's
oh, that's
that's really amazing.
that's fantastic. That really is fantastic.
Yeah. So we did see that. And then our next movie that we'll probably give a reaction to would be Avatar 2.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a big one. 3.5 hours.
yeah, as most of you know, we haven't seen Avatar for like 14 years. So
Has
the
it been
fact,
that long?
yeah, since 2008.
Oh my God.
Yeah, since 2008. Hopefully fans are still, you know, they're still into Avatar after all this time. Um, so we'll it's gonna be a long movie, but we'll give our reaction on that when we see it.
Yeah, God help us, getting through a 3-hour movie. For God's sakes, Cameron, be friends with your editor, all right? Ugh, it's as bad as The Irishman. That was long.
Yeah.
What's wrong with these directors and making these big epics? Jeez. But hey, who am I to say anything? We had Infinity War and Endgame was almost 3 hours, so
Yeah.
I'll
So
shut up now. I'll shut up now.
yeah. So look out for our reaction on that. So
Yeah. And as always, please hit that like button and subscribe.
yes. I mean, please, we need to get our subscriptions up there. Our likes. Just having you guys tune in every time we do this. It makes us even better. The comments, even what you want to see us doing.
Yeah.
We can certainly go over the comments and do that as well. So I mean, just comment, and we'll try and make our videos a lot more better. A lot more better than what we've been now.
Well, we just haven't been doing a lot of them posting lately because we've just been busy. So
Yeah.
now that things have died down, we'll get back to the swing of things. Don't worry about it.
We'll get to it more consistently. So just please stay tuned on that. So we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, that's all for us here at Media Talk with Miller Smith. I'm Ian Miller.
I'm Andrew Smith.
See you next time.
See you guys.